Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, guys, if you found the show on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm up to 580 subscribers. Getting so close to 600. Now, this show and every show is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, today's Friday, so we've been doing this the last couple weeks. This Billy and Jeff's super fun Friday sports show. And in honor of Ken Riley, the passing of Ken Riley, one of the great Bengals, who deserves to be honored and deserves to be in a Bengals Ring of Honor. With that in mind, being Billy have decided to do our own Bengals Ring of Honor and give you a list. So, what's going on, Billy?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man, good. I was kind of sad to hear Ken Riley passed away last weekend. That was kind of sad news for Bengals fans.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was, talking to you on the phone a minute ago, getting ready to start our show, and just mentioning the worst part about all this is he never will get that chance to go to Canton and receive his enshrinement and have people speak and join his other football players that got to go in, and now it's impossible because he passed away. And to me, the NFL failed and robbed him of that. The writers or whoever votes it in, it's a shame.
Well, I mean, like we were talking about before, like I said, we did a little show prep before we're talking on the phone about this. I also kind of put it on the Bengals themselves because they don't promote any of their old players. And I was listening to Lance McAllister last night, and Paul Dehner Jr., I guess, did an article on The Athletic about how the Bengals are now, I guess, considering doing it. And the reason they never did it before was Paul Brown was always, there's no I in team and always about the team and not promoting an individual player. And to me, that is so short-sighted because it's not only, yes, you are promoting that player, but you're promoting that player and his career he had with your team. So it does both. It promotes the player, but also promotes your team, and it also keeps your history of your team in the public eye and in the writers, because there's writers that vote for the Hall of Fame right now probably have never saw Ken Riley play, so they don't know. And if you don't promote your history and your past and your former players, people are going to forget about him. And I think that's one of the reasons the Bengals only have one player in the Hall of Fame, and that's Anthony Munoz. And because he was the greatest left tackle ever.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I just want to know when, talking about how you said they don't like Paul Brown doesn't want to self-promote. I mean, is there a rule where you have to have names on the back of your jerseys?
Right.
I don't know if there is or not, but so why are the names on the back of the jersey?
All right, good point. Right.
So there's only some self-promotion, but you're more promoting your team
as
a whole, because what helps a player when he does well, the whole body does well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's so short-sighted.
Well, and one thing that I heard on Lance McAllister's show last night is I think the Bengals, other than the expansion teams, being Jacksonville and Houston and Carolina, and the Bengals have been around for 50 years. It's not like we're a new team. We have the least amount of players in the Hall of Fame. We got one. Everybody else has at least three. And they all have Ring of Honors. I don't know this for a fact, but it feels like of the teams that have been, like I said, the Bengals have been around for 50 years. 5 years before I was born. All the other teams have got Ring of Honors, okay? And the Bengals don't. And I just think that has a lot to do with the perception of the franchise and the perception of the way the public and the national media sees us. We are seen as, like Colin Cowherd has said a million times, a cheap franchise, a cheap organization, a not very well-run organization. Now, I think things are starting to change. I think they're trying to change this year with all the free agents that we signed. And I feel just if you look at the social media that the Bengals have done here this past year is more than they've ever done. So I do think that the mindset as far as that is changing. But I think it's going to take years upon years of them doing this to change the way our perception is in the public, and that will help our players get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they only need to do one thing to change the perception: win.
That would help. I mean,
I might be in the minority with a lot of people around here. I'm a big New England Patriot fan, or I was when Brady was there.
Right.
Who do they sign for a lot of money?
Mm-hmm.
They'll sign a couple defensive players. They always seem to have this way about them where they'll sign a lockdown corner like Stephon Gilmore.
Right.
And then he'll single team the second best receiver, and they'll double team with their other quarterbacks. And that's kind of how they build their team. But overall, outside of Brady, who still made good money.
Yeah, he was never the highest paid quarterback. He was never the highest paid quarterback. Yeah.
But he still made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
But outside of that, their team is not loaded, but nobody talks about them being cheap because they win.
Right.
That's all you need to do.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. This is another conversation we had in the pre-show fist fight, whatever you want to call it. That before Robert Kraft bought the Patriots, they were looked upon as the Bengals. They were not a very good run franchise. They only been to one Super Bowl. They got crushed by the Bears. As soon as Robert Kraft got the team, he spent the money, he got Bill Parcells. They went to one Super Bowl. They drafted Drew Bledsoe. Yes, they didn't do anything really, really good, but they were going to the playoffs. They were doing okay, and then they got Brady and they got Belichick, and the rest is history. But that's the thing. Before that, they were not, like I said, were not looked upon as a very good franchise. And
right.
I think Mike Brown and Katie should take that as the format of what they should do. I mean, yeah, winning 6 Super Bowls would be great. I'm not saying that you could just do that. I'm just saying the way the Patriots run their organization, the way they started from where they were to where they are now, just how they run it and how they promote their players and how they take care of their players is, I think, a good format, the way the Bengals should do it moving forward. And one of the first things they should do is get a Ring of Honor. I mean, it's not that hard to do, especially they can do that now.
Well, the Patriots, they went out and they got Bill, when I think this was when Kraft was there, they got Bill Parcells and Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a hot commodity.
Well, Carroll, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was Parcells, and then he left, and then Pete Carroll. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, he went out and tried to change it, but that's your owner being changed. It's, you just don't unseat the owner. Owners don't get fired.
No, unfortunately.
Unless you're Mark Scott, she got fired.
Yeah, that's true. That's a whole different subject. All right.
Getting back to that thing where you talk about Mike Brown being cheap. I mean, the Reds, they started theirs, which I thought was kind of late. It took them a while to start retiring numbers, and they had some really good teams.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They had this Hall of Fame come in. They make a lot of money off that. If anything, Mike Brown, you can make money. Build a Hall of Fame. Fans can go. That's great for the fans and everybody. It's just a no-brainer. Well,
that's the other thing. I think I said this in a show earlier this week. If you go to a Reds game, which hopefully we'll get to go this year, but every year you go down to GABP, there's something new down there. They always have something new. Paul Brown Stadium looks almost exactly the same way as it did in 2000 when it opened up. I think the only difference is we got a new Jumbotron, and instead of grass, we got field turf. Other than that, it's the same. They haven't done anything to upgrade it.
Yeah, the worst part about Paul Brown Stadium, when you walk in, it looks like when I walk downstairs in my basement. There's not much to it. There's a couple posters and stuff, and that's about it. I remember when they changed the inside of it, like they put the Bengals stripped around the
that was a Marvin Lewis thing. He made them do that. Oh no! And I got a question: why are our seats green? Why aren't they orange? Well, we have no green. Why are the seats in Paul Brown Stadium green? That's always bothered me.
Why don't they just make the field orange like who does it? Boise State.
Boise State, yeah.
I mean, change the color.
Right. But I'm just saying, we're orange and black. I don't really want to sit in a black seat because I think in the summertime it would be hot. But an orange seat would be great. I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
You sound like me when I was a kid in the old Riverfront Stadium.
Yeah.
Like, why are the seats at the bottom by where the Reds are blue and the ones all the way up top are red? Why aren't the ones down low red?
Dude, I remember having that conversation with you. I agreed with you. I'm like, the more expensive seats should be red.
All red. And
Right.
all red.
Right.
Yeah, they got it right.
All right, let's get into this. Let's get down to our list here. I'll let you go first. Who you got in your Ring of Honor?
Well, my list is a really rough draft. I didn't really get a chance to complete it. I was up all night with my stepson. I didn't write the coaches down there. I was getting to that.
Right.
But obviously, no brainer. Well, I'll start with the owner, Paul Brown. Not Mike Brown, Paul Brown.
Yes, you got to start with Paul Brown, yes.
And Sam Weiss, more than how he was as a coach, he brought a personality, like a pride.
Right.
Like a Bengal pride. Like, we don't live in Cleveland, we live in Cincinnati. And
Exactly.
he brought that, I don't want to say they copied it from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has that. Their fans, like, don't talk about it. Like,
I'm sorry. Who'd you say? Did you say Pittsburgh or I don't understand that.
I say Pittsburgh because that's where they play. You say Pittsburgh.
It's Pittsburgh.
We're just different. It's not how I look at them; it's what I call them. But yeah, you start with that. If you were talking, we're talking Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against Marvin Lewis. I wouldn't put him in that. He did a lot of good. You could argue it. I would say no in a Ring of Honor.
Let's preface it this way: we are putting the Ring of Honor as a higher standard. Those are your elite players more than
elite Hall of Fame.
Right, more than your Hall of Fame. Because if you look, like you said this on the pre-show talk, the Reds have only certain numbers that they've retired, but they have a lot of players in their Hall of Fame. So there's a difference. I just wanted to go ahead. You keep going. I just wanted to preface that.
No, I only really have one coach, Sam Weiss, and for the audience, my first year I watched football. Like, I knew about it from my older brother, and he would collect like football cards. I knew about people. I'd hear names and who was good and who was not.
Right.
My first full year I watched football was '88, and they just happened to go 12-4. And so, if there's somebody I'm forgetting and I'm not very, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Say, hey, what about this guy? I got no issue with that. I'm not going to remember a lot of the people, and I might be forgetting somebody. So,
right.
I just wanted to say that real quick. But coaches, I have Sam Weiss. Forrest Gregg, I can't really.
Well, the other thing with Sam Weiss you have to put into, he's also an innovator. He was an innovator with the no-huddle offense. Nobody ever did that until '88. So, you have to put that as far as, because that goes with Paul Brown. How many different things did Paul Brown innovate? You know, the like I said.
We don't have enough show for that.
Yeah, I know. It's if you look at the list of stuff that he did, it's ridiculous. Now,
he's an architect.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So we got Paul Brown, which I agree. I got Paul Brown and Sam Weiss in my Ring of Honor. Now, what about the players? Who you got first? I think I know who you got. But go ahead.
Go by position.
Yeah,
let's go by position. It seems to be a little bit easier.
Well, I would say there's one name that's got to be first as a player.
Yeah.
Anthony Munoz to me has got to be the first one. He's the only Hall of Famer we have. He's the greatest left tackle ever. So to me, he's got to be first. So you start with him, and then we go to the positions. That's fine.
Okay. Well, quarterback, I have two.
Yeah.
I have Ken Anderson and Boomer.
Yeah.
Boomer, to me, I think a lot of people, the perception is like he was such a really outstanding player. He was pretty good, but he wasn't like awesome.
Yeah.
In now '88, he had a fantastic year.
He had a terrible Super Bowl though.
A tremendous leader.
Yeah.
He got people. I remember even when he came back in like late '90s when Corey Dillon was here.
Yeah.
How much better they got just inserting an old guy in the lineup.
Right.
I hate to put it like that, but you could just see how they gravitated towards him. So that's to me why he's a Ring of Honor more than as a player.
Right.
So Carson, I didn't put in there.
No, I'm not putting Carson in there. But my next one, you got to have.
No, he just didn't have enough good years.
No. My next one obviously would be Ken Anderson because to me, if you put him in the offense in the rules they have now, he would be a surefire Hall of Famer. I mean, he should be in the
He
NFL
should be
Hall of
anyway.
Fame. He should be in there. There's no reason he shouldn't be. What were you saying?
Him and Ken Riley, that's just irritating.
Yes, I mean Ken Riley's another one that should be in there. And like I said, Ken Riley was fifth. Is fifth in all the NFL history for interceptions. I mean, how is he not in? How is he not? They don't even talk about him. You know?
Well, I mean, and who else is in there? Like Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
Like you were saying before, he wasn't even alive when he retired. So
Right.
it's like, okay, so he was fourth when he retired. That's not good enough for your Hall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all worked up.
That's all right.
All right, so those are my guys.
Okay.
And I know you probably like Andy Dalton, right?
You're bringing that up already? Well, I'm just saying.
No,
Okay.
just asking.
Well, we'll put it this way. When I brought that up, there's a difference between the Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame. I say if the
Right.
Bengals ever get a Hall of Fame, you have to put Andy Dalton in just because stats. He's got the most stats
Right.
as far as a franchise go. Now, I know the offense is totally different. You know, the rules are totally different, but the numbers are there. So in the Hall of Fame, I think he should be. Maybe not necessarily the Ring of Honor. But the Ring of Honor, the first wide receiver that I would put in is the original 85, Isaac Curtis.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, put it this way, him and Ken Riley both came from the basic beginning of the Bengals all the way to their first Super Bowl. So that's how important those two and Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson came a little later, but those two especially were as very important to the Bengals' history and to the franchise. I mean, you go from an expansion to, and I think Riley might have been the first year, I think, or first or second year, and I know Isaac wasn't too far behind
I
it. But
think it was like 70, 71, so it was like right after that.
yeah, it's real. So those guys come from basically an expansion franchise to not leading them, but being part of the Super Bowl, our first Super Bowl ever. So those two are huge.
And you got to understand, expansion back then is different than now, where you have free agency and trades, and you can become a Super Bowl team like the Panthers overnight.
Right.
Where these teams have really had to work from just draft them.
Oh yeah, that's all they had.
Put it in context.
Well, they didn't even have free agency then. They had nothing. You just drafted guys. That's all you could do.
So who else do you have as your wide receivers then, other than Isaac Curtis?
Well, wide receivers, I got to put Chris Collinsworth in. I know people get irritated with his comments and everything, but like you said before, I think he bangs on the Bengals. One, I think he's frustrated because he wants his organization that he went to 2 Super Bowls with, blood, sweat, and grinded for 10 years?
Yeah, but we got to talk about how they were as players, not what they are as broadcasters.
If you look at his numbers, he was a pretty good wide receiver. He wasn't bad.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, skinny little guy. He was phenomenal.
Yeah. So I got him, and then the other one I got Chad Johnson.
Yeah, you have to. I agree.
It's the numbers are there. I wish Chad would have the last couple years where he decided he didn't want to play for the Bengals anymore. I think his career could have ended better. It ended with a thud, and it could have ended a lot better. But it's there. You've got to put him in there, I think.
Right.
All right. So who you got as offensive lineman? We already got Anthony Munoz. Who else? Who else you got? Because there's only so many.
Let me ask you real quick about the wide receivers. So you like Chad over AJ Green?
Oh no, that's right. You do have AJ Green. I forgot. Yeah, I have AJ Green in there.
I think AJ Green's had a better career than that.
Yeah, I mean, I do,
That's just my opinion.
And he's also go ahead.
And I was just going to say a really close one, and I don't remember him as well. And this was all, again, for the people who are listening, like, a lot of this was off the top of my head. I don't remember as well. I liked Eddie Brown a lot.
Yes. Eddie Brown was a very...
Now, Ring of Honor, no. Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Brown... I mean, if you want to go for the 88, I mean, Tim McGee should be in the Hall of Fame, too. Maybe not Ring of Honor, but Hall of Fame for sure. As far as Bengals Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he was pretty close. Eddie Brown was a lot better, in my opinion. But, okay, go ahead. So that was it. All I had was
yeah. So yeah,
the same ones you had.
AJ Green, I know he's still playing, but even if he ended now, if you have a Ring of Honor, you put him in there. I would think.
Yeah, they got the curtain up waiting to drop the curtain down. He's been phenomenal.
Right.
Now, all right, what position are you going to next?
I was going to go to the offensive line, and the first one I got after Anthony Munoz would be Max Montoya.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's a very underrated offensive lineman because, I mean, the biggest reason I'll say that is I put him leaving after I think it was the 91 season. He left and went to the Raiders. We had our 92 season, and he left after. I don't remember the year after he left. That's when the lost decade started. It started with losing him. That's how big he was to that offensive line.
He left in 89 or 90. I remember it was right after the Super Bowl, so it was one of those couple years.
Really, I thought he left after our last playoff loss. I really did, but I don't know. I don't know that for sure.
Well, maybe you're right. I know it was really quick after it.
Yeah.
People are making such a big deal about it, like he's so good, and I didn't really know who he was. I didn't pay attention to that.
The funny thing was because they didn't actually have free agent. He was a Plan B free agent. I'm not exactly. I don't remember how that all worked out, but that's how he got to leave. I remember that. Because NFL didn't have free agency then. He was a Plan B free agent, and he got to leave. So that was just for the fact of how the offensive line just went downhill after that. And if you look at his numbers, he was a very good offensive line. I mean, he had offensive lineman. He had a very good career.
He was a four-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good.
All right, so
who else did you have in there? You had Munoz and Montoya, then who?
Well, who do you think? Number 71, baby. Big Willie.
I had Big Willie, and I also have Whitworth.
Yeah. Yep. Got to have Whitworth.
You cannot not have Whitworth. Those both, I'm not going to compare who was better. I think they were both fantastic. To me, I guess Willie's probably better.
Willie's better.
Guy I would love to have on there, I know we're saying this is just football field, Dave Lapham.
Yeah.
That guy's done so much work with the Bengals.
Yeah.
On and off. Like, it's just nonstop.
Well, the thing is, you can also put him in there because he's been the voice of the Bengals for the last 30 years.
Right. Yeah.
So it's that's the thing about when you do stuff like this, you can include the broadcasters, you can include former players. You know, it's your ring of honor. You can do whatever you want.
It wasn't just on the field; it was also what he brought to the Bengals off the field and how he promotes and talks about them.
Right.
Anyway, those are my offense. So that's all I had about that.
He's one of the biggest homers ever, and I love listening to him. him and Dan Hoard are great.
My favorite thing about him. I'm not a homer.
Oh, I'm a homer, baby. I'm a homer.
Oh, I want him to win. I just like reality, and he sometimes
reality, snouty, whatever.
When Andre Smith came out, he wouldn't say a bad thing about him. Oh, he's great, and I'm like, are you sure about this?
Oh, Andre Smith.
No. How wrong could you be?
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, let's get the running backs. Who you got?
I couldn't. Corey Dillon's a no-brainer in my opinion. I don't have a lot of running backs.
He should be in the regular Hall of Fame.
How long he played?
He should be in the regular Hall of Fame, in the NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, his jersey's in there. His cleats are in there.
Not even a real discussion.
Right.
And Rudy, I thought was pretty key.
Rudy Johnson, really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
He stacked up. He didn't have a really. Well, let me rephrase that. I wrote this down as initially a Hall of Fame. Ring of Honor, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know. To be honest, I don't even know if Rudy Johnson's in the Bengals Hall of Fame. He only had, 2 really good years? I don't know.
He had about close to 6,000 total yards in his career. It's not horrible when you look at some of the other ones.
Yeah, true.
It might be a little high. It might be a little, 4,000 or 5,000. But he had a couple years where he had 1,400 yards.
Yeah. Well,
I just think the miles caught up to him and he went down.
I said this on an earlier show because DJ Reader has lost 30 pounds. And I think that's what happened to Rudy Johnson. He changed his body. He lost a whole bunch of weight. And he went from a wrecking ball to running over guys to being very easily tackled when he lost all that weight. I think that's really what messed him up. Because
Palmer did the same thing for a year. He lost 15 pounds or something because he wanted to be able to be more mobile. You can only run so fast. So.
Right.
But that's all I really had. I couldn't remember Pete Johnson, how long or how good he was. That was a little bit of a time, but
for one running back, you got to put in that was for longevity, and he's also part of the Super Bowl team is James Brooks. That's to me that's a no-brainer. He's got to be in the Ring of Honor. He's one of the. I don't remember how many years he played. I don't know if you know this or not, but I had forgotten that he played in the Freezer Bowl. Did you know that?
No, that was before I started
watching it. He played in Freezer Bowl, but he played for the Chargers.
Oh yeah, I remember he got traded.
Yeah, he was their punt returner or kickoff returner, and he fumbled the ball. So, but that's not the reason I put him in the Ring of Honor. He was a great running back. He was for a good 6, 7, 8 years one of the best running backs in football.
Right. But that's all I had on that. No, wide receivers, that is.
All right.
Tight end, I only put one.
See, who would you put in a tight end? Because, I mean, we've had...
Rodney Holman.
Holman? Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah, he was. I'd love to see him in this offense of what tight ends can do now, you know?
But he did it back then. That's
right.
Uncomparable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the only other one that comes to mind is Bob Trumpy. And that might be more of for his broadcasting. I never saw Trumpy play, so that was before me.
I mean, yeah, I think who was the guy in the first? Was it Ross?
Yeah, Dan Ross.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
he could have been it there too.
Yeah, another one that was before me.
That's pretty much all my offense right there.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Just because what we said right there. That's why the Bengals need to promote their past. We know these guys, but they're before us. So we really didn't get to watch them, and there's nothing about them, that would say,
right.
Like the Reds. Everybody knows the Big Red Machine. My son, who's 19, knows who the Big Red Machine is and knows who the players are. Now, that has something to do with me telling him, but if the Reds didn't promote it, I might not know. So that's where I'm saying the Bengals need to promote this stuff, and it drives me nuts that they don't.
All right, who do you have on defense?
Well, defense, the first guy I got that came to mind is Eddy Edwards. He was a beast.
Okay.
That's the first one that I could think of. I mean, unfortunately, we don't. If we had some great defensive ends or defensive players in the 70s, I can't think of any offhand. But Eddy Edwards was a very good player for us.
I agree. I also had Tim Crumry in there.
Yeah.
He was just a man. Like, he was tough.
He should be in the Ring of Honor just for breaking his leg and not leaving in the '88 Super Bowl.
Yeah, it'd been nice to have him in there. But...
Oh yeah, but that could have made a big difference. I mean, cornerbacks. I don't know of any. I mean, other than obviously Ken Riley. Any other cornerbacks? Safeties. I can't think of any offhand. I think we pretty much touched on.
Vulture?
Huh?
What about David Vulture?
Oh yeah, Full Rock. Duh. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as regular Hall of Fame, I'd say Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was
I'll
good.
tell you a linebacker. I know we haven't brought that up yet. Was the only one I had was Reggie Williams.
Oh yeah, a former mayor.
He was incredible. And then he ended up going to city council, so he's a big deal in the community.
I think he was the mayor, didn't he? No, maybe not. Maybe it's just on city council. Maybe that's all it was. But yeah,
I just feel so bad for him because he went through so many surgeries and they don't have what they have now. And I remember telling a story about how when they opened up his knee, it was shot up like fluid, like 6 feet in the air.
Oh my goodness!
And now, last I heard, he was battling to save his leg.
Oh man, that's not good.
And off football, he loved it.
Yeah,
it was worth the sacrifice of his body. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
That sounds good. Hey, like Billy said, for any of our listeners out there, if you guys got a better list or people that we've forgotten, message us down below and let us know.
I'm interested in reading it.
So, all right, Billy, we forgot to do this last week, so I made sure I wrote it down. It's the staple of my show. It's called the Zeke of the Week. I can't believe we forgot to do it last week. So, do you have anything written down for Zeke of the Week, or am I taking this alone?
No, actually, last week I had one, and this week I haven't figured it out.
Who'd you have last week? Give me yours last week.
Just record Major League Baseball for the rest of the year. Because it's just going to be Major League Baseball.
Well,
the player, either one. I'm like, I don't get it.
Well, that's my Zeke of the week this year. The MLB and MLBPA. I don't understand how every other sport can come back. And the thing that drives me nuts with this whole thing is the owners like, well, we're not going to let any fans in. Okay. The MLS, as far as I know, they're going to have a tournament in Orlando. And then after that,
Right.
they're going to play games at their home stadiums and let people in. Not everybody, but they're going to let people in. Texas, the entire state of Texas is letting people in, like 50% capacity. So, Major League Baseball and this whole narrative of
Right.
we're scared of the coronavirus, we're scared of this, it has nothing to do with it. It's all about freaking money. Like,
Right, yeah.
and
I heard today the NBA was having a problem. Like a lot of the players are having a problem going to Orlando now, so it's not like an entirely done deal. And I thought it was.
yeah, I thought it was.
mean,
I thought it was too. I don't think
They said July 31st. So
with them, I don't think it's the fear of the coronavirus. It's the fear of being stuck down there for 3 months, and they're.
yeah.
I don't think they're going to let them leave, which is. I mean, I heard this on a radio show earlier today. Our quarantine life is going to be a lot more freedom than theirs is, which I'm like, okay, this whole, you can only do so much. And I've said that on my shows. You know, it's, you're either going to play or you're not. You know, you can't.
How much is going to open up in the meantime, in between that and when it starts?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Disney World, I think, is getting ready to open up.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, I mean,
Disneyland, Disney World's in Florida.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna play.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't control everything. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
anyway, that's my Zeke. That's all I got.
Yeah, so my Zeke week is MLB and MLBPA. All right, if you guys are on
basement, everybody can play in there.
Do what?
That way we can just open up your basement and have everybody come there.
My basement ain't that big.
Sports.
The ice cave is not that big.
That's all I got for today.
All right, man. Hey, if you guys are checking us out on YouTube or a Facebook link, and you're on Facebook, check out these groups that I help run. We got Bengals Nation, Bearcats Country, Reds Country, and Cyclones Country. And if you're checking us out on the YouTube, or excuse me, not YouTube, on the Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star review. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. We're up to 580 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of them. I know me and Billy like the comments. Good, bad, whatever. We'll take them all on.
Yeah.
And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See you guys.